red pen. My coffee. All right. I believe we are at 5:30. We are. All right. And I'm already on my website. Great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. Welcome to your morning mental workout today. Let's get this party started. Still trying to get some adjustments on this doggone tripod. Now I feel like I'm crooked. Okay. Is it crooked? Go up some. Okay. Whatever. It is what it is at this point. And part of it is my OCD too. Okay. So, pardon me, I was eating almonds. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today we are going to be talking about keep your word. Keep your word. But before we get started, number one, learning live. Go ahead and gather some note-taking materials, physical or virtual. Choice is yours, however you need to learn best for you. Secondarily, you're going to need a second device because we will be on the website, theturnarounddoctor.com, theturnarounddoctor.com, and we will also be on the YouTube channel. We will also be on the YouTube channel as well, looking at some A&Q to playlist. One of the playlists is on the homepage. That being said, on your own, go ahead and inhale and exhale 3 times. Okay, so some background information in order for you to be able to fully participate in today's live. We focus on neurogenesis, which is the creation of new neurons, as well as neuroplasticity, which is the wiring of neural pathways in your brain. You combine those with the 74 principles of real leadership, and what you have is neuropability. And that is the brain's ability to wire itself using the 74 principles of real leadership to hold yourself personally accountable on a day-to-day basis so you can access your best day in and day out. How do we do that? We use the amazing frontal lobe. And inside of the frontal lobe, your executive function is located there, and that is the CEO of the brain. So using that, you're going to combine everything together, and let's get this neuropability party started. Keep your word. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. You're on the website, you're going to go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership tab. You're going to scroll all the way down, not all the way, midway down to Authentic, and we are on number 7. Keep your word. Keep your word. Give me one moment. Okay, and what I have been doing for you to be able to fully and completely understand all of the 74 principles of real leadership, I am defining each word so that you can understand the totality of each individual principle of real leadership, giving your brain the ability to wire itself to that principle of real leadership. The first word in keep your word is keep. And keep means to continue doing something without stopping. To continue doing something without stopping. That is keep. Next is your. Your is of relating to you or yourself. Your. Of relating to you or yourself. Relating to you or yourself. You know you yourself personally? That's what the your is for. And then word is a promise. What do you have when you put it together? You continue to do what you promise to do. That's what keep your word means. To continue to do what you promise to do to yourself and to others. That is the basic 10. Let me get rid of this for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That's basically what it means to keep your word. What questions do you have about keep your word? What questions do you have about keep your word? Okay, So I will move on. The big question is, why don't people keep their word? And we had a late end yesterday, so this morning is when I prepared for the live. I mentally try to prepare for it, or like to prepare for it before I go to sleep. So then I'm thinking about it while I'm sleeping. So then I wake up with my own, what I believe is perspective of how I'm going to approach the live. This morning, when I got up, I just sat there for a minute and thought about, well, what does it mean to keep your word, and why don't people keep their word? And then I got up and I researched it. And the first thing that pops up is marriage counseling for some reason. Of all things, why don't people keep their word? First, it's like, hey, married people, you don't keep your word. And then it's kind of goes into business, but it really didn't it didn't align with what I was thinking. So I did find an article, and Ava Sinclair wrote the article. She has some other reasons for writing the article. So I'm just extrapolating the 8 behaviors as to why people don't keep their words. Because initially I was like, because they're unaccountable. That's why they don't keep their word. But again, I don't want my conformity bias and confirmation bias to skew the actual reason why people don't keep their words. I know it's neurological. I know that it's behavioral, and I just assumed that it was because they are unaccountable. But Ava changed my mind. Be flexible. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And that is what I did. I read the article and I extrapolated the actual 8 behaviors. And the first behavior that Ava mentions is overcommitment. So biting off more than you can chew. So you just say, yep, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do all things. And so you overcommit and you end up disappointing somebody because you don't have the ability to do everything that you said you could do, but you wanted to do it. So then you overcommit. The second one is procrastination. I wasn't even thinking about procrastination, and procrastination is the enemy is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So it made sense. You're waiting, thinking you have more time than you do. You're going to get it done. Lack of skill, fear, and all these things that cause you to procrastinate. And now, good morning, Lola. And now you can't get it done. That's number 2. Number 3 is lack of organization. And get organized and stay organized is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So now you are not organized. And as a result, you get missed. When Nola first started in business, the calendar was wrong. We're getting to appointments late because she didn't use enough time. How can the vehicle didn't have everything where it needed to be? And it's like, oh, I needed this. I forgot the ladder. I forgot the wagon. Now I left my other drill battery. So it was this disorganization that was causing the inability to effectively keep her word. And then that's number 3 is a lack of organization. Number 4 is the desire for approval. So you say yes because you want people to approve of you. So you just keep saying yes, 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 yes. And then you can't actually do it because you said yes just because you wanted them to approve of you. That was an interesting one for me because I don't really, maybe I don't know if I ever was seeking people's approval. Maybe I was, and I just don't remember. But I don't really remember just saying, yes, oh, I want you to like me. Yes, I want you to approve of me. And yeah, I'm going to do that without me wanting to actually do the thing too. Number 5. So number 4 is a desire for approval. Number 5 is fear of confrontation. So you don't want to have any conflict, so you'll just say yes to it. Yes, yes, okay. I just don't want to argue with you. Okay, I'm going to do it. But that's not a good idea. That's definitely not a good idea if you're going to let people bully you into saying yes, and then you know instinctively that you're not going to keep your word. And I had students last year that said they would just say yes to their friends and then don't show up. So then they were just saying, are you going to show up or are you going to show up? And they say, yes, I'm going to show up, and then not show up. Number 5 is fear of confrontation. Number 6 is inconsistency. So some days you're all in and people can depend on you, and that can work for about 6 months. And then for the next 6 months to a year, they can't depend on you. And then you come back and say, okay, I'm back for real. You can count on me. You can count on me. And then you can't count on them. So the inconsistency, and that's what I was thinking. Unaccountable people. You can't count on them. So they're never going to keep their word. Number 6, again, is inconsistency. And then number 7 is avoidance of responsibility. And this was actually a shock to me. So it is an aversion to being responsible. So you don't keep your word because you don't want to be responsible. That explains my ex-husband immensely. As soon as I heard that, I was like, yep, Harvey, got it. Makes perfect sense now. So avoiding responsibility is the reason why you are not keeping your word. That's number 7. And then number 8 is a lack of self-awareness. And this reminds me of my older sibling. The failure to recognize their pattern of broken commitments. Their pattern of broken commitments. The failure to even recognize that they keep saying, I'm going to do this, and then they don't. I'm going to do this, and then I don't. I'm going to do this, and then I don't. And their refusal to even say, damn, I done told 17 people that I'm about to do something, and I ain't did nothing to nobody. It must be me. It must be me. It's always an excuse or excuse as to why they couldn't get it done. What questions do you have about the 8 behaviors of why people don't keep their word? I have this cut on my hand. Okay. We are rolling along this morning. All right. The next one is how to keep your word. And so these are principles of real leadership in order for you to keep your word. So there isn't steps because we addressed the behaviors and now we're going to address the steps. Number 1, hold yourself personally accountable. That's the foundation for everything. When you hold yourself personally accountable, everything else means that you're going to do it because you're holding yourself personally accountable. Number 2, say no 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, if you're saying no, what you're going to do is not overcommit. There's no way that you can overcommit if you are saying no 9 out of 10 times. Number 3, hold others personally accountable. So when you say no, don't let them talk you into a yes. And that goes back to that desire for approval and the fear of confrontation. So if you said no, keep the no, and do not allow an unaccountable person to make you defend your no or make you turn your no into a yes. I've said this a lot recently. You don't have to defend your yes. If someone asks you something, you say yes, people go, okay, cool. As soon as you say no, it's almost like you're being waterboarded. You gotta explain your no. If you don't have to explain your yes, then you don't have to explain your no. They are both simple words, and there's no reason for it. Yes, no one said, well, why you say yes? Help me understand what made you say yes. But as soon as you say no, now you are standing in front of a doggone a congressional hearing, explaining, well, why did you say no? You didn't ask me 5 days ago when I said yes, we didn't have this. So why are we having this now? Because I'm saying no. So your no is your no. Do not allow unaccountable people to talk you into your yes. Because people who hold themselves personally accountable respect your no because they're using real leader math and they're saying no 9 out of 10 times as well. So your no is your no. Do not let your no turn into a yes because of someone saying, well, I was just, and then it's not really going to take that long. And then but what about, okay, so what support do you need to turn into a yes? You need some more people because we can get you some more. Is it about money? We got some money. It's a no. It is a no. All right. Number 4, be honest. We just did be honest earlier in the week and a couple days ago, and it's be honest. Be honest about who you are, and then you can keep your word. Part of the reason why you can't keep your word is because you're lying to yourself. If you're lying to yourself, you can't keep that lie up or going. You're not going to do it. But if you're honest about your skill set, if you're honest about your feelings, if you're honest about who you are, you're going to say yes and mean it, and you're going to say no and mean it, and that's going to help you keep your word. Number 5 is get organized and stay organized. If you are disorganized, you can have the best intentions from a heart perspective, but if you got chaos and confusion and you can't even find your keys, how you going to keep your word? If you say, yeah, I'm going to come pick you up at 9 o'clock, and now you can't find your house keys because your house is a damn mess, Get organized and stay organized. So these aren't major decisions. These are simple decisions that, hey, are you going to take the trash out? Sure. And then you forget because you didn't write a sticky note. You didn't do anything that reminds you that you got to take the trash out. And now that is causing conflict in the household every doggone week or twice a week if your pickup is twice a week. So get organized and stay organized. Number 6 is eliminate the clutter in your life. If you have clutter in your life, you are not going to be able to keep your word. It's impossible because clutter on the outside means there's clutter up here. You're not even going to be able to prioritize. And we did PEMDAS for a while because we wanted to be able to understand decision-making processes. And you can't do that if your life is cluttered. And not to mention, clutter creates cortisol, which creates brain fog, which means that you're not going to be able to have a clear frontal lobe, and now you're going to be making poor decisions to begin with. And you might say yes when you really mean no, or vice versa. So eliminate the clutter up here and eliminate the clutter out here. Number 7 is handle conflict when it occurs. Handle conflict when it occurs. If you are having difficulty with anybody and you're attempting to not do something and they're attempting to make you do something, for you to commit to them. If you're saying no and they're saying you need to say yes and you're saying no, sit down and understand why your yes is so important to this person. What is it behind the pressure of saying yes? So that's a conflict. And you have to sit down and completely understand, and they might actually need you to do it. And if you understand what this pressure is about this yes, you might turn your no into a yes. But to just say, you need to say yes, you need to say yes, you say, I'm saying no, yeah. Now there's conflict. So if there becomes a conflict, handle it when it occurs. All right, number 8, procrastination is the enemy. Do it now. Procrastination is the enemy. If you procrastinate, you say, yep, I told them I was going to have that report to them at 5 p.m. and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning is a great time to do it. 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, you're wrong. By 4 o'clock, you know that shit's going to be a shit show. Go ahead and say, forget it. You're done. So do it in the moment. Do it in the moment. As soon as you say, yeah, I can take care. As soon as I finish, I'm going to take a nap. You know what? It's Monday. I got until Friday. I'm going to start on Tuesday. I'm going to just go ahead and get a good night's rest. Next thing you know, it's Friday. And you are at the last minute at crunch time trying to do this thing that was important to somebody else. It might even be important to you, but you procrastinated. So no procrastination. Number 9 is to stay focused. When you stay focused, you understand everything that's taking place, and it allows you to keep your word. If you become distracted, if your amygdala becomes hijacked, now you lose focus. If you got a little conflict going on, you got some cortisol there, you're not going to be able to think clearly. So stay focused. The main thing is always the main thing. And then the final one, and most importantly, is carry only what you need. And that goes back to overcommitting. The reason why people overcommit is they're taking on everybody else's shit. If you are the responsible one, the personally accountable one in your family, everybody depends on you and calls on you for everything. And you're trying to keep the family together. And so you are carrying this big, juggling a bunch of things, or you got this big ass heavy rucksack. And that's the story that I use in my book of everybody else's everything. And you got to go ahead and give everybody back their problems, their drama, their conflict, their inability to be systematized. You need to give all of that back to them. This is all yours. You caused it, you solved it. And now you aren't going to overcommit because you are only saying yes to the things that you know you're going to do. You're using the real leader math 9 out of 10 times saying no. So your actual yes is an actual yes because you've done the work. And now you just have this one thing that you're focusing on. That's how you're able to keep your word. What questions do you have of me regarding what behaviors and what principles of real leadership you need to implement in order to keep your word? And if you have not done so, go ahead and vote in the poll question, because that's the next thing that I'm getting ready to do. Okay, let me go ahead and review the poll results. All right, the poll question is, be honest, do you keep your word? 90% of the people said yes, 9% said no. There were a total of 11 votes. Go ahead and explain your answer to the poll question. And if you're thinking again, ... All right, Kevin, if what's asked of me is beyond my scope, I'm respectful enough to refer to others. Noah said, I say yes because I do. All I got in this world is my word and my and don't break it for nobody. Tony Montana. Got it. This is my child. I tell you. Yes, the importance of keeping your word from a personal accountability perspective is more for yourself, more for yourself than anybody else. Everybody else benefits from you keeping your word. And that's why when I said the definition is to continue to do what you promised to do to yourself and to others. Because don't think for 1 second that the person is not keeping their word to others is keeping the word to themselves. It's impossible to do. So they're not keeping the promises that they made to themselves or anybody else, which is unfortunate for everybody. So you think, oh, well, they're not keeping their word with me, but they're doing everything that they need to do for themselves. And that's just not the case. A person that doesn't keep their word doesn't keep their word. And everybody loses, to include themselves. So that's why you keep the promises that you make to yourself. That's why you hold yourself personally accountable, because at the end of the day, it is your life and you deserve the best for yourself. That means you have to give the best to yourself day in and day out. That's why you keep your word, because if you don't keep the word to you, how are you going to hold yourself? How are you going to hold other people personally accountable if you're not even keeping the promises to yourself? That's it. And people do it, unaccountable people, like, you said you was going to be there and you did. Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Don't worry about me not keeping my word to myself. No. You got to keep your word to you first. You commit to yourself. I'm going to be personally accountable. I'm going to be my best. And I'm going to do that every single day that I wake up. And then I'm going to ensure that everybody around me is doing that exact same thing. Okay, now we're going to go to the YouTube channel. So if you're on the website, go to the turnarounddoctor.com if you haven't done so already. You're going to go to the social media tab. And from there, YouTube will be the first thing that pops up. So go ahead and select YouTube, and that will bring you to the home page of YouTube. And that wind sounds a lot more severe than it is. And from there, you are going to go to desktop, Dr. Donna's Desk Talk. And the third video, which is on the left, I have on a black t-shirt, is discipline. And that's a 3-minute and 50-second video. We have time for it today. You're going to go ahead and watch that video. And then you're going to respond with whatever comes up for you. Again, turnarounddoctor.com. You'll go to the social media tab. And then you will go to YouTube. And from YouTube, you are going to be on the home page. And you will be looking at Desk Talk number 3, discipline. And I will be completing my notebooks because I went on Pinterest this morning and did not have time to do that. And let me look at my clock. So you should be done by 30:48. And hiccups begin. Okay. 30 years at size 2 is some hell of a discipline. That was your takeaway. Okay, got it. Any other takeaways, Kevin? Oh, did y'all hear that? My chest cracked. If I find this loose hair, I'm pulling this bad boy out. I promise you, every day. Is that it? I don't think so. Because it's lower. Okay, Kevin, you could go ahead if you're not typing. I was just joking with you. You don't have to have a different answer. The next one, the next video is, if you scroll down to the A&Q playlist, it is The Last Time. So it's the third video in the playlist, The Last Time. Go ahead and watch and respond. Your discipline for your benefit. Yes, exactly. Yes, your discipline is for you to benefit for you. And that's what personal accountability is about. Kevin, you said that yesterday. So go ahead and go to The Last Time on the A&Q playlist, The Last Time. I have a 73 Lincoln that I purchased because it's my birth year. I purchased it when I got my first financial, I got out of my first financial rut. It reminds me that I can always bounce back. Yes, you can always bounce back. The next one is A&Q. It's The Last Time. So switch to the playlist underneath it, and it's The Last Time. And Ludacris did something similar. He kept his, I think it's a legend, an accurate legend, where he used to sit in it and write all his rhymes. So he kept that card to remind him of a time when that's all he had. So it's an interesting reminder that we use those things for that. Don't fall for the okie dokie again. Yes, the okie doke. I know, autocorrect. Gotta love it. There we go. This is it. I have found it. The culprit. And he is trying to take me out. And Nola, you can go to the next one. Trying to. Wait, which one did you watch, Nola? Did you watch the last time? Because that response seems like it's going to be for trying to play. Okay, so now the next one is trying to play. Trying to play. The last time I hit rock bottom was the last time. It's not a good feeling, nor is it a fun story to tell. I think you need to tell a story, Kevin. I think you need to tell the story until it's a neutral reaction, response to it. Because people hit rock bottom. A lot. People lose it all and gain it back. So that's just part of the story. That's not the end of the story. So it's just it's a chapter in your life. And you need to tell a story until you can just tell the story with being completely detached, almost as if you're narrating it from that perspective. Because there's a shame associated with that story if you're saying, nah, nor is it a fun story to tell. It's just part of the story. I got a lot of stories that ain't fun to tell. Some stories just are because it happened. It's just factually based. And down and out is just the ingredients for up and at 'em. That's all it is. You learn what doesn't work. We actually had a client the other day who was working at Lehman Brothers when it went under. And him and his family were preparing to go on a trip to Europe when it went down. And he said he called his wife and was like, did you buy the tickets? Because we about to be sleeping on the floor on some pillows. He said the children's college funds and everything was wrapped up back in that. And he bounced back. And now the children who went to college, that wanted to go to college, are sitting in college. And he's sitting in a guarded gated high-rise condominium back at it again. And that was 2009. So Nola said, I had to do this yesterday. Last night. I was attempting to schedule a curtain rod appointment last night, and the lady lost her mind. Told me what tools I needed, the rods needed to be straight, and if it was self-explanatory. I canceled and said got me twisted. That's because I'm gonna tell you what happened though. You know how, because your price point, they go ahead and hire them other taskers, and then they fuck it up, and then you got to come and try to fix it up. Is what's happening. So she already hired somebody, and they was crooked, and they didn't have the right tools, and that's why now she gonna instruct you. You know we've had that happen before. People tell you the tools that you need and tell you how much time the task is actually going to take. I thought you were talking about the person that booked all that mounting and then one bookcase in the corner and talking about furniture assembly. So they could be at a lower price point. Be well. She was not treating others with dignity and respect. I don't think you want to read that to me today between Pinterest and you exited out of the chat, right? It's all good. This line is not secure. It's people's negativity bias is heightened in America right now. They are looking for a reason because of all of the fuel that's being disseminated on a daily basis. All right. And then Kevin, the second one is trying to play. Trying to play. Trying to play me. This reminds me when I got caught up in my first and only Ponzi schemes. I got my money back. How I did it wasn't pretty. They really had me twisted. Well, you said the young folks said that you could bring the smoke when you need to. You go back to when you was playing football. You start tackling people. I think you said you was a DB. But anyway, yes. So they tried to play you, and so you had to bring out you're not Southern gentleman in that instance. Okay. All right. And so my Pinterest account has been deactivated this morning. I got the notification today, and they're sending me notifications now because they'll log you out if you've been logged in too long. I logged back in. They said my account has been deactivated, and this is the second time that this has happened. So I'm finished with Pinterest. They've now sent me the reports because I uploaded a video today that had F-bomb in. I was like, oh, it must have been a video that I uploaded today. The reports are from some posts that I made back in June of 2023. So we are sitting in April of 2025. Got it. And the reason that I violated the community guidelines with some adult content, and I have the ability to appeal. So this happened. I got logged out of my Facebook account and tried to log back in. They wanted me to basically apply for a real ID to get back into Facebook. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So that account should be sunsetting here this month or next month because it was October 23rd, 2024. And here's the reason why I'm sharing this information with you. If Pinterest is telling me that my content is adult content, they are correct. I only work with adults. So that means that that platform is actually not for me because I'm not going to change what I'm saying. I'm not going to change who my target market is. Part of the reason why I was on every social media platform is because other people are on their students, and so they post their information, and I need to have an account on that platform so I can look at what they're doing. It made it simpler. But what between Facebook and Pinterest, what it has shown me is that my target students are not there anymore. And that's okay. And so when these things happen, and it's because you're like, you're violating community guidelines. You're like, hold up, wait, bro, what you talking about? Really? All the stuff I see on there? But what they're saying is, you aren't Pepsi pretty. You aren't politically correct. Because if you wasn't talking about the post from this morning, and you was talking about something from June 2025, June 23rd, June 1st, 2023 is I think the date that's in my Gmail, then you're basically saying, it's not a cultural fit. And I'm okay with that. I actually am. So this happened before, and my page was getting millions of views a month at that point. Now I think it's like 6,000 and some small number compared to what it was before. So that account is no longer active. I'm not upilling. I'm not doing those things. One of my favorite sentences is, I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to. So when things like this happen to you, do not think the first thing, oh my God, I gotta get this back. I gotta get this back. I gotta get this back. No, ask yourself, do I still need this? Because it's just a check. Is this still something that I need to be active on? Can you get that content anywhere else on any of my other platforms? And the answer is yes, you actually can. I have deactivated my LinkedIn account twice, and now I'm not connected to anybody or anything. I just post on there, and that's where some of my credentials are located. So the next time something occurs that feels like this is wrong and why is this happening to me, it's actually higher power, God, in the universe. Even if you're atheist or agnostic, it's time to, they call it a pregnant pause. So pause and then assess. Do I still need to be doing this? Why is this occurring? Because it's time for you to assess the validity of that situation. Now, if it's something that you want to continue to do, then you go through that process. But Nola already said, F it. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for this. And now that I know the reason, because for me, I didn't know what the reason was. As soon as they said it's adult content, you're right. you are correct. So it ain't a good fit no more. Roger that. So I will continue on doing what I have been doing and going forward, and I will be removing that link from my website and the YouTube channel later on today. So do not think that everything that's happening to you from a negativity bias. Now, negativity bias would have had me in arms. I would have been mad on the live. We would have been able to go through anything that we needed to go through. And I just would have been sitting here like, seeing this is the problem with these social media platforms and not. That's why you have multiple social media accounts. And then, hey, if it's time for it to sunset, as we called it in corporate America, when a project was over, then the project was over. So I reevaluate my social media content accounts whenever this happens. And I'm considering removing myself from X because it doesn't have any value. I've had the account since 2012. I'm there because it's like, oh, I can see the information, but is that enough? So now that Pinterest is gone, X may be the next one that's gone. We'll see. Every time one of this happens, I then go to X. When it used to be Twitter, I did the same thing. Like, is this still? Yeah, why am I using this? So we'll see. So that's that. So moving on. What did you learn today? What did you learn today? And where's my pen? Yes, you don't have to explain your no. You don't. And unaccountable people have us programmed to have to explain it. No, but here's why. No. Why? No. Why? No. And the reason why they want you to explain it, and I've said this before, is so that they can use that free information that you're giving them against you to get you to say yes. So, loose lips sink ships. Mom's the word. No. What was the question? It was, what did you learn today? What did you learn today? And Kevin, you working with those youth, you can tell them that story about going broke. Because what if one of them go broke later on in life? Your story could be them exactly what they need to keep going. Like Dr. Donna, be quiet. I'm stepping on that corn on my pinky toe. Take it up with Big G. And then Kevin, for you, what did you learn about yourself today? Yep. Let me be the example. I tell y'all all my stuff. All of it. It happened to you so that you can support somebody else if and when it takes place in their life. That's where the wisdom comes from. We old heads now. Nola said, other principles of real leadership build into the principle of keep your word. That is correct. And the second and final question for you today is, what did you learn about yourself today? And what I learned about myself today is someone asked the question on Threads yesterday, do you write your goals down? And my initial answer was no, not anymore. That was yesterday. We had a very busy day, so I came back today to respond because the person said, why not? That asked the original question. And I wanted to be very methodical in the answer. And what I told that person is because I'm working on my personal legend, which is from the book The Alchemist. And what I do throughout my day is now I vocalize them because I'm speaking it into existence. So when my goals were normal or simpler things like car, house, a bonus, a promotion, annual goals and things like that, degrees, those things, I wrote those things down. Then, now that I'm self-actualized and I'm working on my personal legend, I just say the 4 goals to myself, or sometimes out loud in my home. I'm not going to be walking in Albertson saying it. But I say it throughout my day because I'm speaking it into existence. And what I told that person was, believe in yourself is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And so when you believe in yourself, you believe at a higher level, and it takes more faith to speak things into existence, because your faith is, the belief of something hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. So you believe that this thing is going to show up, but you have no physical evidence of what's going to show up. So what I'm working on now has never been done before. So to write it down would mean that I'm going to be able to see it. And some people have vision boards, but how can you visualize 6.8 billion people being personally accountable? I don't even know what 6.8 billion people look like. So then you have to have this higher level of accomplishing your goals. And for me, that's speaking it into existence. That's what I learned this morning, because I used to write my goals down all the time. You got that from Brian Tracy. Write them down every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Had little notebooks and everything. And then I stopped. And I didn't understand why. And now I know why. Kevin, myself, I learned that I've taken more notes from your live than I took all 4 years of college. Hey, can I get that as a testimony? Can I let people know I'm as educated? Because you know why that is so important, Kevin? Because I have been saying, I wonder if I'm not harder, but I have more information than college professors. Because I could teach college if I wanted to. And I've been wondering that, and for that, because Nola didn't go to college, and I went when I didn't have degrees. So for you saying that, that is amazing. That has been my objective. I said that I've learned more in these last 11 years than I did in all 23 years of me going to school. And you have confirmed that 100%. 100%. And it's because professors are publishing or perishing, and they're too worried about tenure and keeping their jobs. And as we can see, I don't care about that. That's why I didn't go to teaching college, because I was going to be an associate professor at one point. I was like, they're going to make me do some stuff I don't want to do. Them doggone end of course evaluations is going to take me out. Nola said, I learned that I am no longer putting up with the BS. And that's the other thing. And I will end with that, unless you all have something else for me. Here's what I will say. The more personally accountable you become, the less tolerance you have for unaccountability and unaccountable people and their bullshit. Because you're like, oh, you just making a choice to be unaccountable. You just making a choice to participate in negativity bias and all these other things. I ain't got time for it. I'm good. Whatever you offer, whatever was attached to you, keep it. You can have it. I'm really good over here. And that's why the importance is for you to hold yourself personally accountable first and get a whole lot of personal accountability in you. And then naturally, on your own, you're going to start holding other people personally accountable because you will have enough neural pathways of the principles of real leadership to say, oh, you just procrastinate. Oh, you're just not keeping your word. Oh, you didn't get organized and stay organized. Oh, I see you quitting. But quitting is not an option. So you can actually see the neurological decisions that they've made. And you're like, nah, you got me twisted. That's why that A and Q is there. You got me twisted. No, absolutely not. I'm not the 1, the 2, or the 3. Don't try me. And it gives you this inner confidence. And people think, oh, I can go buy confidence. I can listen to enough motivational CDs. I can read. No, you got to build confidence 1 nanosecond at a time. Let me write that down. That's a quote. Yeah, it's in your daily. That's the tagline. It's in your daily. And the more you pour into yourself, the more you create neuropability in your life, the more personally accountable you become. And now you can see best and you know what best is. And one thing about best, once you've been exposed to it, you can't go back to average, regular, mediocre, mundane, good. Like, nah, this ain't the best. I need best over here. And best is not expensive. It's just best. And it's what you determine is best for you and yours in the community in which you reside. That's what personal accountability is about. And again, until you do it, you can't explain it. You can try to explain it to other people, but this is something that you have to experience. This is a participation ideal. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to just say it. I'm going to just say the 74 principles of real leadership every day. I'm going to write them down as a goal and then go off into your unaccountable existence for the day. It's not going to work. It absolutely is not going to work. The more you become personally accountable, I've mentioned this before when Nola was little, and I would hold people personally accountable. She would be sitting in a store in a restaurant, and now she's holding people accountable that's trying to play her for like boo-boo the fool. And it's just not going to work anymore. And that is what the world needs. When you start holding yourself personally accountable day in and day out, you are going to hold the people around you personally accountable too, or you're going to disassociate yourself with them, which works too. Y'all can be unaccountable over there. Over here, we're focused on best. And that's the reason why I wake up every morning doing this. And that's why I don't have to write this down anymore, because I can say it all day long. I don't have to wait to see it show up. I'm the creator of it, so it's showing up every single day that I show up every single day, and that's self-evolution, and that happens when you are doing the work day in and day out. Okay, with that being said, thank yourself today for being, oh, you know what? One more, I forgot, follow up. Did you follow up and say thank you to anybody yesterday? And I did, I said thank you to Virginia. And her, daily submission. And I said thank you to Kevin on the live. And I said thank you to Nola for dinner. And I said thank you to the person that helped me unload the stuff at Savers. I'm just hungry this morning. I don't think I had enough dinner. I said thank you for the free drink at Rubio's. Kevin, yes, I said thank you to my worker for showing up early to work and staying late. That's always a bonus. Yes, I remember I used to have to do that. Okay, the real leader principle for today is to keep your word. So keep your word. If you say you're going to do it, do it. And it's easier to keep your word for something positive than what unaccountable people perceive to be negative. I would say accountable. When you say, I'm putting my foot down and I'm keeping it down, you got to put your foot down and keep it down. If you say no contact, it's no contact. If you say we're done, no doubling back. Those are the harder words to keep than the other ones. The fun ones. Yeah, I'm coming to the party. I'll be there. What y'all need me to bring? Some ice? I got it. Cool. Yeah. That's simple, but it's those accountable words that people end up not being able to keep, or the unaccountable people will try to talk you out of. Absolutely not. My word is my word, and I don't change it unless I get some new information that makes sense to change it. So your word is your word, the one that you keep to yourself. Those promises that you make to yourself are the most valuable promises that you will ever make. And then that allows you the foundation in the neural pathway to start keeping your word to other people. So if you don't talk to them no more, now I don't talk to you no more. I don't care what's happening. Like I mentioned with my mother and her husband, take me off of every insurance policy, the house, the cars, everything. Do not send me anything after you're no longer here, because if you do, I'm donating it to charity in your name immediately. So give it to somebody else. Get somebody else, like New York says. I'm done. I don't, because it's fruit of the poisonous tree. So absolutely not. Not at all. And I'm standing 10 toes down on that. All right, you all go off and have a sensational Saturday. God willing, higher power, and the universe. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, same face, different t-shirt. Take care.